Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where
Hello everyone, Joshua Myers here,
And Josh too.
and welcome back to my 31 Days of Halloween Review series. And today we're going to be reviewing Insidious Chapter 3.
You've tried to contact your mother, haven't you?
Yeah.
Before it was insidious,
If you call out to one of the dead, all of them can hear you.
a more terrifying evil started it all.
It's feeding on her soul.
Tiptoe
This summer,
through the window,
nothing will prepare you for the most disturbing chapter yet. Insidious Chapter 3, rated PG-13.
Insidious Chapter 3 stars
Stephanie Scott, Lynn Shay, Michael McKay, Dermot Mulroney, Angus Sampson, Tate Bernay, Steve Cavalier.
and is directed by Leigh Whannell. Plot of Insidious Chapter 3 is that
That takes place before the unforgettable haunting of the Lambert family. When paranormal investigator Tucker and Speck team up with the psychic Elise to help a teenage girl contact her late mother, Elise is forced to venture back into the further, where she finds a ruthless supernatural entity craving the souls of the living.
Okay, so before we get into this review, I would like to point out that I have, of course you guys know, I've seen the other Insidious movies. I did review for the first two. I think it's only about time that I did my review for Insidious Chapter 3. And I was really looking forward to this one, considering it was directed by Leigh Whannell. And we just watched Invisible Man remake, and that was really good. Plus, I've been hearing good things about this one, so I was so excited about it. Before we get into that even further, I would like to say that Joshua here is basically a virgin when it comes to Insidious movies. This is the first time he's seen one of these damn movies.
I think we had really high expectations, right?
Yeah.
We just finished The Invisible Man, which was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
And it pretty much carried through this one too. Pretty much
tiptoe through the tulips with me.
I really like the cinematic value of
Yeah,
it.
I like the cinematography, and honestly, just overall, even compared to the other first two Insidious movies, I think it's much more cinematically pleasing. And honestly, like, the color correction and all that different stuff, the lighting and that, is what I wanted to see, is what I wanted to see in the first two movies. Because the first two movies, honestly, had kind of like, and I mentioned this in my reviews of the first two, kind of had, kind of dull, almost like it was, gray coloring to the whole thing,
Right.
even during day scenes.
And this
and
one was
that-
much brighter. Right?
This one's much more vibrant. It's something that I would have done if I did the first two Insidious movies,
Yeah.
in terms of that goes. And so I'm glad that Leigh Whannell told his colorist and that and cinematographer
Right.
to do that. So I guess that's one of the issues I had with the first two movies, and I think he fixed that with this one.
I've never seen the first two movies, but I thought this one was very fun to watch just because of how bright.
Just how cinematically pleasing it was, and it looked really great. Actually, I can only imagine what it would look like on Blu-ray disc and everything.
Yeah.
4K Blu-ray.
You ever watch it for
No, we watched it on DVD.
Oh,
Just
well,
standard
it
DVD.
had good.
I mean, it looks great on DVD,
Yeah.
so if it looks great on DVD, I can only imagine how great it would look on Blu-ray or 4K. Another positive I have is most of the cast, really. And here's the thing, like, I did dug the paranormal investigators in the first two movies, so I did dug them again in this one. And honestly, my favorite character by far throughout all of these movies has been Lynn Shay's character, the psychic.
That's Elise.
Yeah, Elise. She's so far been my favorite character out of all three of these movies so far, and she just gives off a great screen presence.
Yeah.
So plus she's a very likable character too.
Yeah. And at the same time, being very attention grabbing, or what did I say? Attention demanding, which is a good thing. So.
Yeah. And I know also not only did Leigh Whannell directed this, but he also starred in it as, which he did in the first two movies as one of the investigators, Specs.
Right.
I did like him in this movie. I did like him in all three movies. What were your thoughts on him as an actor in this one?
Well, I think he did really well.
Yeah, I think he
He's
did.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
Definitely looked like he was having fun with it.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised you. Well, although not really, because I do that with my films too. I direct them and I star in them, so I guess it's possible. So.
Well, I think there's a few other actors that do that too.
Yeah.
Like actors and writers.
And honestly, coming from experience, it could be tough to do. So, in fact, there has been times I thought about,
Just going
straight directing and just trying to get more actors involved.
Yeah.
So carry through. I also thought about at some point trying to find another person to edit my videos and everything too, so that I could just focus on. If I do that, I'll still occasionally edit videos here and there because I like.
Because you still enjoy it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, just all this stuff is time-consuming. So. I bet that's probably how Leigh Whannell fought with that movie. It's just kind of time-consuming with that because he had to not only direct both his cast and crew, but he also had to act in it. But for what he had to do, I think he pulled it off really well. Yeah. Let's see. Any other positives?
Didn't you say The Further was kind of
Yeah, actually, I think The Fervor was much more better executed in this movie than it was in the first two movies. I don't know what it was really. I think, honestly, it was probably because of, again, the cinematography was a lot better for it this time around than the first two movies. And just even what they end up doing with that concept in this movie, I think they did a little bit better.
Right.
Anything else?
I think that's it. Well, I mean, you could go over and over.
Yeah, you could.
Like, because if you wanted to pick out, like, certain scenes or something, there's a few certain scenes that were pretty cool. Like, when she got hit by the car, that was, like, the most terrifying car accident, well, not car accident scene, but,
Yeah, and I've seen a few.
Yeah.
Actually, on film, especially in horror movies. There's actually one that happens in My Bloody Valentine 3D, which I got over there.
Okay.
So.
Is it as good as...
I don't know. Yeah. But it's not like a car accident, like you get hit by a car. It's literally like car driving into something.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I'm talking about her getting hit by a car. That's scary shit. Yeah. Or scary stuff, I'm sorry.
It's fine, you can mess in my videos. I do that too.
Yeah, I'm trying not to touch you.
Tiptoe through the tulips with me.
I didn't like the actor that played the dad. But,
I mean, there were some bits here and there that I think he could have been good.
yeah. Well, I've seen what other stuff he did really good in it, but I didn't like how he acted in this particular movie so much for some reason. So.
I don't know, I thought he was okay. Nothing great, but nothing awful either.
Tiptoe through the tulips with me.
So the music was the only downside I really had with it because it was kind of forgettable. It wasn't like bad music; it was just
Yeah, it was serviceable,
yeah.
but it didn't have like a memorable score. like something like, you know, you would see, like, because there's a lot of memorable scores out there, especially for horror films. You got scores like Halloween, Saw, Psycho, Friday 13th, even. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay. Friday 13th.
Like, mostly for the main theme, like, dun, 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 dun. Also, Jaws. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Jaws has a pretty memorable score. What about Paul? I think that one bit that plays at the end, which is called Carol Ann's Feet.
Yeah.
It's like,
that was really the only thing.
yeah, really. That the music is completely forgettable. Again, it's not awful, typically speaking, but I would have preferred a much more memorable soundtrack.
Yeah. It would have been cool to see them a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was what they got was pretty good.
So with that said, I'm going to give Insidious Chapter 3 a 4.5 out of 5 stars.
That's also what I.
Honestly, for me, it was actually a pretty good surprise of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I had high expectations for it, especially with what Leigh Whannell directing. He did an amazing job with the Invisible Man remake that came out this year. That one has become definitely one of my favorite horror films. But yeah, it surprised me. It was really good. It's probably my favorite so far of the Insidious movies. And as for you,
Well, I haven't seen any of the other ones, so it's definitely my favorite Insidious movie so far.
yeah,
But
one of these days I have to show you the first two, and then we'll watch the fourth one.
it's definitely up there in like my top 10 favorite ones.
And from what I heard about Insidious, The Last Key, which is the fourth movie, I have no hopes for that one. Especially, I've heard it was complete and utter shit. So for me, after coming off of something like this, yeah, it's like... So, and honestly, in terms of Leigh Whannell as a horror film, I honestly cannot wait to see what he does next. You know? It's like, if ain't... Like, the only film of his that he's directed that I have not seen yet, and you haven't either, is another Blumhouse movie, 2018's Upgrade.
Yeah.
Which I heard good things about. And, you know, I'm basically hooked on the film that Leigh Whannell directs now. You know, it's like if I hear he's directing another movie, we're definitely going to watch it. So, and again, a little bit controversial, but I honestly do think Leigh Whannell, I so far like him better as a director for horror films than James Wan.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising considering, his acting in the first Saw film was kind of mediocre at best, you know? So, but he wrote the original Saw. He also wrote a lot of other James Wan's projects, so... One of which I did like was the film Dead Silence, which I highly recommend that to you. Yeah, it's also a very underrated one, actually, in terms of how it goes. It's another creepy puppet movie. I think you'll like it. After we're done with this, I can show you a trailer to it. See what you think of it. And maybe also listen to the music, which is also the music throughout the film is composed by Charlie Foster. And it stars one of the actors from Saw 2, Donnie Wahlberg from Saw 2. Yep.
No shit.
He's in Dead Silence as well, which he plays yet another cop. I think you would like the film. Plus, I think it has actually a pretty underrated horror villain too. Okay. So that's it for this review. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.